So today we'll be getting into some wrestling news with Zelina Vega and her cosplay, Roman Reigns targeting Bobby Lashley, the big heel turn that is blocked from happening, and more. For today's question of the day, would you like to see Bobby Lashley versus Roman Reigns? It's a match that we could potentially see later this year, depending on how things play out, but more on that later. Let's start things off with Zelina Vega's cosplay. If you're familiar with Zelina Vega, then you know that not only is she a great speaker, a great wrestler, but she also does top-of-the-line cosplay photo shoots as well. But her most recent cosplay isn't one of her traditional ones. Zelina took to Twitter to post a video of herself cosplaying as Liv Morgan, making fun of how she talks, her makeup, and other things like that. Liv Morgan and Zelina have started up a nice little feud since Zelina returned. Zelina returned and was instantly placed into the Money in the Bank match without having to qualify. This was a major issue for Liv Morgan, who was desperately trying to make it into the Money in the Bank match by whatever means. Liv defeated former two-time Money in the Bank winner Carmella and defeated Zelina Vega on Zelina's first night back as well. Liv would end up taking Carmella's spot in the ladder match after Carmella was removed from the match, but the conflict with Zelina always stayed there. The two of them were going back and forth on commentary recently until a fight between them broke out seconds later. And the two of them have gone back and forth on Twitter. That's when Zelina posted the cosplay of Liv Morgan and had this to say along with that cosplay. "Hi, I'm Liv Morgan, and I cry until WWE and the WWE Universe gives me what I want. I can cry on command, bro." She's playing all of you into feeling sorry for her. Don't let her make you look stupid. Crocodile tears ain't how you win. Hashtag Money in the Bank. Zelina was of course referring to a Talking Smack interview that WWE had with Liv Morgan. It was a great moment where the crowd was really going wild for Liv Morgan, and she broke down crying during that interview. Liv would respond to Zelina's tweet and had this to say. Zelina dressing up as the Money in the Bank winner because this is as close as she'll ever be is highly ironic. Also, her best cosplay. So a lot of fans were complaining about this feud, saying that it reminds them of pop stars arguing back and forth. So everyone can have their own opinion, but what makes this feud between Liv and Zelina a bit special is the fact that it's a non-title feud in the women's division. That's almost unheard of in recent memory. We never see a non-title feud in the women's division. So to think that there's a feud in the women's division outside of the title picture is mind-blowing. So that's great to see. This is obviously being recorded before Money in the Bank, but Liv Morgan does have a lot of momentum heading into the Money in the Bank match. Liv no doubt has the best overall story heading into the women's Money in the Bank ladder match as well. A lot of these other participants are coming into the match with little to no story, but Liv is the one that has the most story and best narrative here. She spent weeks trying to prove herself for the match, kept getting denied, but finally made it in at the last second as a replacement. She has that underdog narrative going as well. She's been with the WWE for a handful of years, but never won any WWE gold at all. And telling by the reaction on SmackDown, everyone genuinely loves Liv Morgan as well. So she's one of the favorites to win the match. And even if she doesn't win the Money in the Bank, her usage should continue to improve, especially if the fans stay strong behind her. Liv's biggest threat to the briefcase is most likely Alexa Bliss. Alexa Bliss is a bit of a wild card here because she has something that the rest of the other participants don't have, and that's of course magic and superhuman abilities. If the past few months have taught us anything, it's the fact that Alexa has the power to pretty much do anything she pleases. So Alexa's going to be pretty much a threat to just about everyone else in the match because of the unpredictability of her powers. That's why some fans aren't too high on the magic, because you can't beat the powers. You can't beat Alexa. Another side note, this week is the 1-year anniversary of Alexa Bliss getting pinned. She hasn't been pinned in a full calendar year. So that's what you're up against. But we'll see who comes out on top of this match, and then we'll break down what it means for the winner and the losers of that match. Roman Reigns and Bobby Lashley are the two alpha champions that swear they're the ones that's carrying WWE on their backs. Only issue is that they're on separate brands, so it's pretty difficult for them to run into each other and battle it out to see who's really in control of WWE. Well, Paul Heyman and MVP recently exchanged some words on Instagram, hyping up Reigns vs. Lashley. It all started when Paul Heyman took to Instagram to post a picture of Roman Reigns on SmackDown and talked about how he's head and shoulders above everyone else in WWE. MVP had a problem with that statement and replied to Heyman by saying this: "While I both understand and respect the praise you heap on your associate, I strongly disagree with your statement, primarily the anyone else part. I know a guy, an almighty one." Heyman replied right back and had this to say: "I love this intrusion on my Instagram from supremely talented and highly respected MVP, trusted confidant of WWE champion Bobby Lashley. Your stellar performances on Raw have been the show's only saving grace. Perhaps one day, when you are both ready to stop being big fish in the little pond of Raw, you'll grace the island of relevancy with your presence and get to meet, let alone fight, the tribal chief Roman Reigns." MVP would later respond with, "Perhaps one day." So definitely some nice teasing and hints there by Heyman and MVP. This dream match between Lashley and Reigns is actually quite possible, as long as each world champion holds on to their respective titles heading into November. November is the only time of the year where Raw and SmackDown talent work together and go head-to-head. If Lashley and Reigns are still champions come Survivor Series, we will most definitely get that matchup, no doubt about it. But can Lashley and Reigns make it to November as champions? That's going to be the deciding factor on if we get to see this match or not. McIntyre vs. Reigns was great. Remember that it was only originally supposed to be Orton vs. Reigns, but it was changed to McIntyre vs. Reigns at the last second. So there really wasn't a lot of time to build up a story there. But if it turns out to be Lashley vs. Reigns, then it could be even bigger than McIntyre vs. Reigns, because as you can see, we're already getting teasers for this match that could happen in 4 months. So we'll have to see how that plays out and who will prove to be the actual leader of WWE in that matchup. Both men would have a lot to prove there, so hopefully we get to see that story later on this year. Big heel turn is blocked from happening? Well, this story comes from Big E. Everyone remembers the start of the New Day. They were supposed to be the faces, but after the live crowds weren't really feeling them, WWE is forcing them to turn heel. But eventually over time, the live crowd started warming up to the New Day, they turned face, and never went back heel since. Big E recently talked about this in a new interview with the Metro and revealed that he had the most fun as a heel with the New Day, but he claimed that Vince McMahon won't let it happen again and doesn't really see them ever turning heel in the future. Big E has now gone solo and also has a bright future ahead of him. Everyone expects Big E to step up as one of Roman's next challengers later on in the year, so we'll see what happens there. But what are your thoughts on today's wrestling news? Leave your comments below, don't forget to subscribe, and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.